Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you what if Naruto became the king of all symbiotes. Part 1 guys. If you enjoy C1C Part 2, go ahead and destroy that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking back to all of you guys. And don't forget to go ahead and turn on the bell notification to check out all the other what ifs over the other channels as well. I do post a lot, so remember to stay tuned for those. Yes, 4 channels: Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, Anime Prince. So check them out guys, and yeah, enjoy. So without further ado, let's not waste any time and just jump right into this brand new series. Remember to tell me if you like. See you guys soon. Let's begin now guys. An 8-year-old Naruto Uzumaki frowned as he looked towards a jar that was sitting on the other side of his kitchen table. The jar was filled with some strange black liquid, as Naruto looked at it like it was filled with poison, which as far as he knew, it might as well be. He was short for his age. He had tan skin, spiky blonde hair and blue eyes. His most promising feature was the 3 whisker marks on each of his cheek. However, he liked them. He thought they made him look somewhat intimidating, and that enemy shinobis would bow and fear him when they saw him. However, it was the opposite. He kind of looked like those squishy toy that any random woman would just pick up and squeeze. He looked like a kitten. However, he's not getting any kind of those affections within Konoha, because most of the villagers, majority of them, hated him. They would always glare verbally or assault little Naruto. On some rare occasions, they would gang up when he was alone and attacked him. He was only saved by the Onvus. Sometimes the beatings got so bad that Naruto would be sent to the hospital. Luckily, the old man had selective nurse and doctors to check over the child, because not everyone can be just with the child's safety. That was how bad it was. There was a cause though. Naruto had a powerful beast sealed inside of him. On the day of his birth, the beast attacked Konoha, and so many died in the calamity. It lasted for several hours until the fort sealed the great demon inside the child. Over the years, the villagers projected all their hate and negativity towards the child, seeing him as a fox itself, something for them to take their anger out on, for the loved ones that they lost. There was only a few people that saw him for what he was, and not for what was inside of him. Because of a law, it was illegal for anyone to even hint about what was inside of him. They would suffer execution if they did. This was meant for him to at least meet some normal friends his old age. However, it has only caused him nothing but pain. Given everything that has happened to Naruto, you would think that would break his spirit or drive him to do terrible things. However, Naruto was not like any other person. His will seemed to be unwavering. He always had a big smile on his face. Always walked proud, no matter what. The only time his happy demeanor would ever fall was when if someone attacked him or if someone hurt his precious people. Though it was limited, if anyone tried to hurt anyone precious to him, he would do whatever it takes to make sure they were okay, no matter what. He had so few, he would always want to protect them. Flashback. A few hours ago, after Naruto had his meal at Ichiraka Ramen, he was coming home. As he was making his way, he was stopped by a female figure. She was wearing a trench coat and an Onbu mask. "Hello there, Naruto," she said. "I have a gift for you." Naruto glared at the figure. Years of being the butt of the joke to the villagers, he was wary of any gift, especially accepting from someone that he did not know. "And just who are you, lady?" he asked. The woman lightly chuckled. "Who I am is not important," she said, as she reached into her cloak and pulled out the jar with a strange black liquid inside. What is important is what is inside of this jar, she said. She kneeled down as she held the jar between them. Inside this jar is something very special. But before I can hand it over to you, I have to ask you a question. Do you want to become strong, Naruto? More than anything else in the world, said Naruto. Passionate fire burning within his eyes. I'll train to become the strongest ninja there ever is, and then I'll become Hokage, he said, pounding his fist in the air. The woman chuckled, her tone filled with nothing but mirth. And why is that? Being the Hokage is filled with nothing but big responsibility. Why do you want that, she asks. I want to be Hokage so I can finally protect the people that are important to me. And also the village. They will have to respect me then, said Naruto. She said nothing for a while. Alright, she said, after a few seconds, as she held out the jar. Take it. Naruto was confused, but he did take the jar. Thanks, lady, he said. She stood up and started to walk away. Hey, lady, you never told me exactly what was in this jar, said Naruto. As she stopped, she turned towards him and smiled, creeping under her mask, as she fully faced the child. I already tell you something special is inside. It will make you immensely strong. All you have to do is to open it. However, not here, she said, knowing that he seemed like he was about to do just that. Wait until you get home, then reach in and grab the black stuff inside. To answer why I'm giving it to you, it's because you're special, nothing else. Naruto looked down towards the jar. But what? What the hell? She was gone. But he simply shrugged. If this stuff will make me strong, I can become Hokage faster, he said. Maybe the old man will see how awesome and strong I am, and just give me the title right away. And I'll become the youngest Hokage ever. With that thought in mind, Naruto started to book it home as he ran, as fast as he could. As he neared his apartment though, he wondered... That lady back then, she was nice to him. But what if she was lying to him? He lifted the jar up and looked towards the black substance. She said this stuff will make me stronger. As far as I know, she could have just been tricking me to take some poison. This junk doesn't even look like it will make me strong. But then again, it could make me grow some giant muscles, like some super drug. So I can crush mountains with my bare fist, he said. As he reached the apartment, he kept on mulling over the thought, as he unlocked and placed the jar right on his table before he locked by the door. As he sat in his couch, there he was sitting in his small apartment, not knowing exactly what to do. Back to the present time, Naruto mentally screamed, not knowing what to do, as he got up and walked straight towards the table where the jar was. I can either risk getting poisoned if it's dangerous, or become incredibly strong if the lady is telling the truth. But I can also show it to the old man, no. He would say that I should not mess around with stuff if I don't know what it is, and if it's something that made me stronger, I won't be able to take it. You know what? Naruto uncorked it and placed the lid on the table. Well, I've never heard of a poison that's killed people just because they touch it. It's now or never, as he reached his hand into the jar, as he poked the liquid and pulled his hand back. However, nothing happened. He poked it once again. It's really warm, he thought to himself, as Naruto pushed his hand into it. Pushing his hand into it, it felt more like glue than water. That is when Naruto noticed. Shit, he pulled his arm out as the thing started to crawl up his arm, causing the jar to crash on the ground when he did so fast. But the black goo did not separate, it was crawling up his arm. As Naruto grabbed it with his other hand and tried to tear it off, however, it started to splatter over his other arm. It then splattered on his chest as it started to crawl over his entire body. He tried to call out in vain, hoping someone would come, however, his voice seemed not to be working at the moment. As Naruto collapsed down to one knee, he felt like he had just run 20 laps around Konoha without a break, as his entire body was submerged in the black goo. Meanwhile, inside of the seal inside of him, the fox thrashed around. Something was trying to get in and gain control, but what? He thrashed from left to right. The place trembled, something big was trying to wrestle control. As he snapped his head towards where the sound was coming from, it was getting closer and closer. The fox then spoke. Who are you? As his jaw pulled back into a vicious snarl, a strange black ghost stood there. A fist was created and smashed violently into the bars. The fox was surprised, as he did not notice the small black tentacles that run from the black liquid towards the edge of the cage all over. The fist then opened up, revealing 5 dark purple claws. The hand was larger than the fox's head, and it was attached to a gigantic muscle arm. The fox tried to attack it as it tried to move in. However, pain coursed through him. He looked down to see millions of small tentacles wrapping around his leg completely, swallowing it. He tried to tear it off, but every movement caused agonizing, terrible pain to course through his flesh. The giant hand then proceeded to pull back and disappear through the darkness of the hallway. The fox roared, shaking the entire place. "Who are you? What are you doing to me?" he yelled. The unseen being simply remained quiet as the tentacles traveled up the fox's body. "Stop this at once! Do you know who I am?" the fox said, ignoring the pain at the moment as he rose to his full height. "I am the strongest Biju. I am the Kyubi, and I will not be devoured by some insignificant being. I will skin you alive where you stand." However, his legs gave out as he collapsed, shaking the room as he realized, "You're trying to kill me. You dare attack me, the powerfulest demon in existence." As more tentacles crawled over him, he thrashed. "You can't kill me. Nothing can kill me," he said. He would just reform. He slowly thrashed around as much as he could as his body was completely swallowed. In a matter of minutes he was gone. Granted, he thought that he could return, however, he was gone. Dead. The beast that caused so much chaos was erased. The tentacles then proceeded to spread back out. The bars, everything turned completely black. The next day, Naruto's eyes slowly fluttered open as he was looking at his ceiling. He pulled himself up as he was now on his butt. What happened last night? He thought to himself, trying to remember what happened. It came back to him like a bullet to the brain. As he pulled his right arm to his face, he checked every part of it. However, there was nothing there. Nothing at all. That is when he heard a beeping sound. His eyes widened as he rushed to the bathroom, throwing off his clothing, his pants that is, as he jumped into the shower. He quickly got dressed afterwards once he was done. As he headed off to the academy, realized he was going to be late. He really hoped he wasn't late. He didn't want to listen to Aruka Sensei lesson about tardiness once again. It was annoying. Several minutes later, Naruto arrived. Arriving there, he noticed that almost all of the seats were taken, except for 2. One of the seats were next to Sakura Haruno. Pink hair, green eyes, really loud. The other was next to a girl with dark hair with an oversized jacket. Her name was Hinata Hyuga. He did not really know her that much. However, Naruto was always in the neighborhood for making a friend. As he made his way towards her, "Is the seat taken?" he asked. The girl seemed to be frightened by his voice as she turned. Her face was red like a tomato. Naruto can want to sit next to me? Not Sakura? She thought with shock on her face. As Naruto noticed that she was not saying anything, so he thought, "If you don't want me sitting here, then I can find someone." No, she said, covering her mouth as she spoke too loudly. You can sit here, Naruto-kan," she said. "Oh, thanks, Hinata-chan," he said, with a smile on his face as he sat down. Hinata had to turn her head towards the window. She could not face him. It was just too much. 2 weeks later, yes, it has been 2 weeks since Naruto was attacked by the black substance. At time he thought about going to Aruka or the Hokage to tell him about it. However, there was no negative side effects. He was completely fine. He wasn't tired or weak or anything, so he didn't see the reason. But he hadn't gotten stronger either, so that was a bummer. However, he made a new friend, Hinata Hyuga. Unlike most of the other academy students, she would not laugh or yell at him whenever he made a mistake. Instead, she helped him. She did stutter a lot, but she did help him, as Hinata was trying her hardest, her absolute hardest, to be a best friend towards her crush. Naruto, on the other hand, was beyond the basic concept of happy. He finally had a friend that was in his own age group. Sure, he was friends with Aruka, Old Man Hokage, Toki, and Ayam, but none of them were kids, and they were always too busy to play with him. When Hinata became his friend, Naruto was the happiest that he ever had been. However, at the moment Naruto was strolling home, as his stomach was filled with the food of the Ichiraku ramen bar, he glanced towards a clear bright moon, as it was on full display today. As far back as he could remember, he would always enjoy the nights and the full moon. Whenever he gazed towards the moon, a sense of tranquility would always be there. All the fear, sadness, anger, anxiety, it would simply disappear. Feed. Hunger. A demonic voice growled out. Naruto's head snapped so fast he almost got whiplash. Turning around, Naruto got into the basic academy fighting style. As he looked everywhere, trying to find the source of the voice, however, there was nothing and no one. As he pulled a weapon from his kunai pouch as he froze up, he remained in that position for a good 5 minutes. However, nothing happened, so he relaxed. Years of being ambushed by the villagers taught him to never ignore, not even the slightest hint of danger, as he cautiously started to move back towards his apartment. After several minutes of uneventful walking, Naruto decided that there was no danger, so he returned back to his calm demeanor. Unfortunately, the calm of the night would not last. Suddenly, his whole body was racked with blinding pain. The pain forced him to his knees as he tried to scream, but it was so unbearable the sound didn't come out. As he collapsed on his shoulder, as he clutched himself tightly. With every second that passed, he fight his hardest to remain conscious. As he opened his eyes, the black substance from 2 weeks ago wrapped around his face. He screamed, but the thing covered his mouth, as it was coming from him. Hunger. Feed. The voice from earlier growled out. Time skip. Several hours later, at the Jonin bar. The Jonin bar is exactly what it sounds like. A bar for Jonins only. Because of the dangerous and sometimes emotional drowning lifestyle that comes with being a Jonin rank ninja, this special bar was built for said ninjas. It was open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and only Jonins were allowed on the inside. The second floor was made specifically for drunk couples to spend the night in. Normally it will be full of drunk, tired, emotional ninjas, but not tonight. Tonight there was only a couple patrons using some of the floors on the second room, and a person in there drinking away, as the bartender had made his way to the back room. The man that was sitting there reached for another swig, however, a food cart crashed right through the wall, leaving a gaping hole. It slammed right into the counter with a loud slang. The man spun around quickly, as he was a bit wobbly because of the alcohol. As he made his way towards the giant gaping hole, poking his head outside, he wondered who did this. In his drunken state, though, he failed to notice the figure rising up behind him. In an instant, he was halfway down the stomach of a horrendous creature that literally just swallowed him whole. Meanwhile, just a street away. What the hell was that? One Tatsume, Inuzaka shouted. The head matriarch of the clan had just returned from a solo mission and was currently going towards the office when she heard the loud crash. Making her way towards the location, she saw that it was a Jonin bar. There was a gigantic hole inside. The wall seemed to have been broken through by a reaching. She saw that it was a food cart. She sniffed. Her sense of smell told her otherwise. The place smelled strongly of fresh blood and slightly of sex. Her eyebrow raised as she pulled a kunai. As she slowly narrowed her gaze, something was off. The rubble under her feet crunched and clattered with every step that she made, causing her to move at a slower pace than before. She came to a complete stop at the center. As her eyes scanned the area, she noticed a doorway that led to the second floor was destroyed, along with the stairway. Her instincts was on full alert, as that gave her the flexibility to flip. She flipped away as something came crashing through from down below on the cellar. Rolling, she got into her fighting stance when she got up. Her eyes widened though when she saw what had nearly crushed her a moment ago. The thing was about 6 feet and completely black. Its entire body was composed of nothing but muscle. Its arms seemed veiny and powerful. Each had the normal 5 fingers. The claws were purple and long. A strong pair of legs held the beast off the ground. The feet of the creature was not human-like. Each feet had 2 pointed forward claws that spread like a V-like shape, while the third toe was attached to the side, like the thumb of a human hand. Each toe was double-jointed like a finger, allowing the feet to be used like hands. However, the face was what surprised her the most. It was somewhat elongated and looked alien. The eyes were pure white, and they seemed to be torn at the edges, as its lips were large and wide, almost going to the side of its face, as she saw countless razor-sharp fangs inside of its mouth, dripping with a strange, purple-green saliva. Its tongue was long as it elongated its tongue. It was bright red and long extremely. "What the hell are you supposed to be?" said Tatsumi, as she noticed its mouth and hands were soaked in blood. The creature slashed at her with his left hand. She leapt out of the way and tossed several kunais towards its head and neck. It did not dodge, it just kept on moving towards her. The weapon slammed right into it, but it just ignored them as it tried to shoulder slam her out of the air. She dodged though as she swung her leg forward. A bone-shattering kick slam right in the thing's face. It staggered back from the kick, making her smirk, until it seemed to growl, showing no sign of any hurt despite the amount of power she just put into that. And the kunais were now gone. She flipped off him as he growled, a roar that sounded demonic. She quickly twisted herself. "Tunneling fangs," she said. She turned into a small tornado of claws and launched herself towards the behemoth. The two were about to collide, however the creature ducked under her and twisted and grabbed onto her leg, stopping her. She howled out in agonizing pain as he crushed her leg by just squeezing his hand shut. Her body was then thrown. She burst right through the broken side of the wall before bursting through another building across the street. She tried to get up, however. The pain was unbearable, but still she had to move. She picked herself up, but then she noticed the creature had made another hole, using the wall to support her because her leg was busted. She couldn't see it anymore though. It was just gone. The next day, Academy, courtyard. Hinata had brought lunch for Naruto. As they were both eating, usually Naruto would be talking a lot, however, he was quiet. She knew that something had to be wrong. She stopped eating as she turned towards him. As Naruto's mind was in deep thought as he wondered, "What happened to me last night?" he thought to himself. The images of the previous night before he lost consciousness played out over and over in his skull. That stuff, it did something to me. He looked down towards his hand as he opened and closed it. He felt different yet the same. He's not going to tell anyone about this. He didn't want another reason for the villagers to hate and attack him. Hinata was about to confront him until the bell rang, as she wasn't able to. Meanwhile, at the hospital, then it just disappeared, said Tatsumi, as she was in the hospital bed. She had dragged herself to the hospital, as the Hokage had quickly been informed about some sort of monster in his village. "I see," he said, a frown on his face, not liking this new information. "Thank you, Tatsumi-san. I will have an increase of personal guards guarding the village. And I will have the Konoha police looking out for this black demon. Now I want you to stay here and heal until the doctors release you. Then I want you to tell Fukaku Uchiha and Itachi-san about last night. Understood?" "Yes, sir," she said. As he left, Hiruzen paused outside. "Come out, now," he said, in an authoritative tone. A woman emerged from the shadows. She was wearing a tan cloak with a white onto mask. Hiruzen did not know who this person was. "Who are you? And why are you in my village?" he asked. My, aren't we a tad bit angry, old man?" she said. "Everything you need to know about me and my future husband is in a folder I placed in your office. You don't have to worry about him for now. I temporarily sealed him away. We can't have him destroyed in his new home, now can we?" Hiruzen's face hardened at that as a woman giggled. "You know what attacked Tatsumi-san and killed those people at the bar?" "Yep," she said to him. "I've known him for the past 2,000 years. He's more like an animal than anything else. However, I still love him," she said. The Hokage gave her a questioning look. Did she just say 2,000 years? "It's all explained in the folder. I'll be back in a few years, and I expect my demand to be met when I return. Or else, you and this entire village will cease to exist." Before he could say anything, she just vanished. No smoke, nothing. She just erased herself completely. No chakra. A frown came on Hiruzen's face. He had no idea what this was, but something was seriously wrong. And did she say 2,000 years? as he had no idea what was going on, but this was really problematic. Time skip. 3 years later. Today was a big day at the Konoha Academy. Every teacher and student had gathered for a school-wide sparring tournament. It was held every year and it was used as a midterm for the students. Every teacher had come and they were there to evaluate the matches. Along with the students, the parents of said students has also come to cheer and comfort their child. At least one parent of each student was present. First, let me thank all of you parents for coming here today, the gray-haired Chunin Mizuki said from the center of the sparring ring. As you all know, every student has been training to graduate and become full-fledged ninjas. Today, each student will be giving their all to show their skills and impress their instructors. Now, this is not a pass or fail event. We're only observing their current abilities so that we can properly assess their future training for each student. The matches will be between one random student versus another for them to show us all they got. The students cheer at being given the opportunity to impress their parents. Now, these are the rules. Naruto was by himself, as the parents had to take their children, as none of them were near him. Hinata was also one of them. Her father had held onto her coat sleeve. Every time she tried to get near Naruto, he tugged her back over. She could not understand why they were all so mean to him. Sure, he might have pulled a prank on them once or twice, but that there was no reason to force him to be alone. The glares that he also sent his way confused Hinata greatly. There was so much malice behind them. Hinata felt like she would burst into tears if anyone glanced at her like that, as Naruto simply ignored all of them. Okay, said Mizuki. The first two that will be fighting is, as he looked down towards his clipboard, Haruna Sakura, Kiba Inuzaka, he said. Picking out the names. A girl with pink hair stood up, right beside her mother as she made her way. Her red battle dress and her bicycle shorts were her current battle attire. Fashion was her top concern, rivaled by her only desire to be a ninja. Good luck, dear, Karu Haruno said to her daughter, as she was sitting next to Uchiha Mikoto. The pink-haired mother and the clan matriarch had been the best of friends since they were kids, and their respective marriages did nothing to break their bond. As Sakura made her way, so did Kiba with his little white dog, Akamaru, as he poked his head out from Kiba's hooded jacket. Kiba was smirking as he took his place across from Sakura. Are the both of you ready? Said Mizuki. Sakura got into the basic taijutsu stance. Her smile was now gone as she was serious. A bright fire of determination burned in her green eyes. She was determined not to lose this fight. She would become a powerful ninja and make both of her parents proud. And beating Kiba was one step to her goal. A step closer, that is. As Kiba placed Akamaru down, Akamaru looked confused as he barked. As Kiba kneeled and pat him on the head. I want you to stay out of this one, buddy, he said. I'm gonna take care of this on my own. Ever since Kiba's sister, Hana Inuzaka, had been named heir to the clan, Kiba has been trying to surpass her. Before his sister was given the title, he thought because he was a boy he would automatically get the name heir. But he learned the hard way that was not true one bit. A year ago, him and his sister had a short match to determine their position. She beat him with little to no effort. He didn't stand a chance in the world. Ever since his defeat and his sister being named heir, he has been training intensely hard to become stronger than her. Fighting this match on his own was a way for him to impress his mother / clan head. And he would not fail, as he lowered himself into the famous taijutsu stance of the Inuzaka. Alright, begin, Mizuki said. Once he said that, the both of them moved as Sakura was the first one to land a brutal fist in Kiba's guts. However, he gripped her hand. He yanked her forward and slammed his skull into hers, as he headbutted the poor girl until she stepped back dizzy. As she held onto her forehead as Kiba moved and swiped his leg across the ground, she was swept off her feet as she fell down to the ground. Kiba raised the same leg and slammed it into her stomach. She gasped in pain. However, she rolled away before he could do it again. As she got back to her feet and glared at him, Kiba smirked as he saw the rage in her eyes, as he moved forward to end this. Once he got close, he threw his fist out. However, by a shocking surprise, she grabbed his hand. Kiba was surprised that she was able to move so fast, or maybe he underestimated her too much by holding back and going a bit slower because he wanted to show off. And that was his mistake. She slammed her fist into his gut. She stepped close and drove her knee right into his gut once again, at the same spot. He fell draped over her knee, as she knocked him away brutally. He rolled out of the ring as he was unconscious. Mizuki raised his right arm and pointed towards Sakura. Winner, Sakura Haruno. This Sakura Haruno was not a normal one. She had a goal, she had determination. There was reasons why she was so strong, as she was training from a young age. She was determined to become a success no matter what. Meanwhile, Danzo Shamiro was strolling. As he made his way, there was 8 of his most powerful, loyal root ninjas behind him. Earlier that morning when he made his way towards his hidden location, he selected 8 of his best men for a very important mission. All these ninjas were told was that they were supposed to capture and kill one Naruto Uzumaki, while he will observe. The root members did not dare to question his orders or wonder why he will bring 8 of his best men to try and kill a simple kid. Hiruzen thought he could hide this thing from me. Danzo shook his head. He was greatly mistaken. 2 years ago, one of Danzo's spies found a rather interesting folder inside Hiruzen's decks. The folder shocked Danzo. Several pieces of information danced through his old skull. Danzo reached as he moved into his hidden pocket and pulled out 2 sheets of paper. It was all the important information that he copied from the folder. Paper 1 read, The Symbiotes. They are a race of aliens that arrived on Earth over 2,000 years ago. Symbiotes have a unique ability to bond with a host organism and greatly increase that host's power. The first symbiote was brought to Earth by a human who found it on a distant planet. The human believed it was some kind of costume and tried to wear it as such. The human was unaware that his new suit was a powerful creature. It bonded instantly with the human and increased his abilities. The human already possessed unusual abilities. The human host had used it for a while until he decided to remove it. The symbiote was angry and confused at being removed, and it became hostile towards its host. After it was forced to remove, it ran away and bonded with another human. Its new host had a grudge against the symbiote's previous host, and that influenced the second human that he bonded with. Its influence made him even more angrier, as it had absorbed some of the previous host's abilities and enhanced its new host's abilities. The symbiote had become much more powerful than the first host. It hunted down the first host and engaged him in many fights over the years, until it calmed down. After a short time it regressed back to its once kind nature. That is until the second host was killed. Over the ages it had bonded with countless hosts, and because of the rapid switch and changes between hosts, the mind of the symbiote slowly got destroyed. Its mind is now similar to a wild beast, making it twice as deadly and impossible to control. Well, nearly impossible. The name that the symbiote took when it took on its second host was Venom. For more explanation on the history of the Venom, please see page 46. The symbiote requires several things to bond with a host. The first is the most important, mobility. Without a host, it's just a goo that can barely move on its own. When bonded, it had a mode of transportation, the host itself. Second is food. It feeds on the adrenaline created by the hosts. They also feed on a hormone which is found in chocolate and the human brain as well. And they feed on their victim's chakra as well. The downside to this is the host could no longer use their chakra, and they have to rely on the symbiote for protection. When bonded with a host, the symbiote is always feeding on the host's adrenaline, but it must still feed on others to survive. There are 2 ways that it feeds. The first is like any other organism, using its host to eat other living creatures, and always go for the brain. The second way is a cleaner way. It possesses the host and forces the victim directly into its body by draining them of all nutrition and releasing the empty corpse. The third reason for them to bond because on their own they're weak. It can easily be destroyed on their own. However, when bonded, they become a lot more difficult to damage. A fully bonded symbiote can only be damaged by intense heat or high frequency sound wave. Anything else would just irritate it. Danzo chuckled darkly as he flipped over to the second page. The abilities that the Venom symbiote will give to its new hosts, Uzumaki Naruto, are as followed. Increased speed, strength, endurance, agility, enhanced senses, a nickname, Symbiote Sense. The ability to extend his limbs to a certain extent, namely his tongue. The ability to change color to match his surrounding, effectively becoming invisible. A limitless number of symbiote tentacles, claws, blades, the ability to adhere to any surface. The abilities that Venom has when possessing Naruto are nearly impossible strength. His speed and agility are reduced because of his increase in size and muscle mass. Able to see almost completely around him because of his large eyes. Symbiote since he started to extend his tongue for battles. The ability to blend in is still available, but is not used because of his decrease in intelligence. Claws, fangs, tentacles, blades, and his absorption ability in the symbiote form. However, he's weak against high, intense heat and sound waves. Sound wave cause durability imbalance, and heat melt off the symbiote. Because of several events over the years, Venom's mind has become nothing more than just an animal, except a lot more deadly. Unlike a normal beast who top motive is self-preservation, Venom has no concern for himself or safety of others. There's only one thing that Venom seeks, and that is destruction. Doesn't matter what is the obstacle in its path. Only when its two weaknesses are used, that is when the symbiote tries to avoid damage. Its main concern is to only kill and feed, regardless of who is nearby. The friends and family of its hosts are in as much danger. Venom has limited speech, normally only growl or roar, and only say a few words at a few times. For more information on Venom abilities, see page 1010. For all information on the Venom symbiote, see page 40 to page 200. Besides the Venom symbiote, there are several others that exist on Earth. Almost all of them were created from the Venom symbiote and share similar or special or enhanced abilities. All symbiotes can detect one another and their hosts. Listed are all known symbiotes on Earth, along with their location and host if they have one. Name: Anti-Venom. Location: unknown. Host: unknown. The anti-venom symbiote is the exact what name implies. It is the anti-opposite of Venom. It shares all Venom abilities, however, it has no mind of its own. The host has absolute control. It is toxic to the original Venom. Just touching it causes Venom pain. Just as the anti-venom symbiote touching Venom causes anti-venom as much pain as well. Interaction between the two, just by a mere touch, will cause both of them immense pain. It is best to keep them away from one another. Next, Phage. Location: hidden stone. Host: unknown. Phage has no tentacles of any kind. Instead, it creates large blades, spikes, and spine from its body that can be launched at immense speeds. Phage is the youngest brother and the youngest child of the symbiote Venom siblings. Next, Riot. Location: Land of Sound. Host: unknown. Riot blood and saliva is heavily acidic and can dissolve the strongest of alloys. It never creates sharp weapons, instead uses tentacle to bludgeon and beat opponents. Riot is the oldest child of the sibling symbiotes. Next, Ledger. Location: hidden sand. Host: unknown. Ledger is able to create mucus that is used to trap, crush, and suffocate its opponent. It also only uses tentacles in a whip-like fashion. Ledger is the middle brother and the third oldest sibling. Next, Scream. Location: unknown. Host: unknown. Scream uses long hair instead of tentacles to trap and kill his opponents. Somehow Scream is able to withstand the type of loud frequency that normally harm the symbiotes. Scream is the oldest sister and the second oldest child. Next, Agony. Location: unknown. Host: unknown. Agony, like its sister, uses hair to capture and kill opponents. Agony can also absorb dangerous chemicals and weapons to use against prey. Agony is the youngest sister and the third oldest child. Agony is also the leader of the symbiote siblings. Note, the symbiote siblings are the children of Venom. They were forced to be created by an organization that tried to control the symbiotes, but failed miserably. The main goal of the symbiotes are to find their father, Venom, and help their father to return to his once kind self. And also they want a mother as well. They want to return as a big happy family, all of them together. Next, Toxin. Location: unknown. Host: unknown. Toxin is the grandchild of the Venom symbiotes. Child of Carnage symbiotes. Toxin abilities stem from it being a third generation symbiote. It can withstand the weaknesses of the normal symbiote to a greater degree. than his father or grandfather. It has two different forms, a slim body form for speed and a larger one for more hard-hitting attacks. Because of his young age, it's quite immature and childlike and require at least 4 hours of playtime a day. Its first host specified that it can do whatever it please during those 4 hours. However, it's not allowed to commit any acts of grand theft, arson, rape, homicide. Toxin pouted and whined for several hours when told the rules. Next, Payback. Location unknown. Host unknown. Payback is a unique symbiote. Not much is known about it, however. There's one thing. Payback is not created from the Venom symbiote. It resonated from the organization, we believe. It possessed a host, however. It only does so when the host is in a state of pure bliss. One assessment showed that Payback has feelings for Venom and does not hesitate to act upon them. Next, Carnage. Location 250 feet under the hidden rain. Hosts none. Every single possible precaution has been made to prevent the release of the most dangerous creature in existence, Carnage, son of Venom. The first host that was bonded with Carnage was criminally insane and increased the malice because of the bond with Carnage. Carnage is ruthless, cruel, merciless, everything that you would consider insane, and it has total control over its hosts. Carnage killed purely for fun, man, woman, children are its targets. It reasoned that every human are just sacks of blood, and every act that it commits, it's right on the wall, at the spot with the human blood. Carnage rule. It can change its host's appearance to any other human on the planet, and it can see anywhere around itself. Carnage is too dangerous to be free, so it was trapped in the most secure area. If Carnage was ever free and allowed to find a host, not even the power of all the other symbiotes combined could save humanity. No one can control Carnage. Danzo finished reading the papers with a disgusting smile on his face as him and his group arrived towards the academy. Time skip. Congratulations, Sakura, on your victory. As she skipped out of the ring. The second she was out, she rushed to her mother and hugged her. As her mother gave her encouraging words, Kibo was brought towards a medical tent that was set up for such an occasion. Once again, my son has underestimated his opponent and paid for it. If he's gonna ever become heir, he's gonna have to base his judgment on his opponents by their skill and strength, not sex. Tasumi saw it. Her son was sexist and she knew it. He held back. That was the reason the girl had gained the upper hand on him. If he had moved in with a more serious caution, he would have won. However, he did not, as she would have to knock some sense in that stupid head of his for not judging a female, thinking that she's not strong just because she's a girl. After all, she was the matriarch of the clan and Hana was going to be next heir, and yet he still judged women. The next match, Mizuki spoke up, snapping her from her thoughts, will be Sasuke Uchiha versus Hinata Hyuga. Hinata's eyes widened in fear of all the people. It had to be a Uchiha. She did not like the Uchihas. They were always so mean to Naruto and arrogant to everyone else. The Hyugas were not much better, but at least they didn't try to attack Naruto for just the sake of doing so. Her father released her sleeve, as she could see the disappointing gaze behind his stoic look, as she gulped silently as she turned. As Naruto was giving her a big thumbs up. Give it your all, Hinata, he cheered for her. I know you can beat any Uchiha. You're Hinata Hyuga, my friend, and future leader of the Hyuga, said Naruto. Hinata's heart warmed hearing that. All feelings of doubt instantly vanished as she made her way. She was not gonna lose this match. She was gonna prove herself in front of her father and her object of affection. Fires of determination burned behind her eyes. Sasuke was grinning as he ran to the ring. Today is the day that I'll show father that I'm just as good as Itachi. Maybe if no, when I win my match, father will help me train, he thought to himself. Good luck, honey. Mikado cheered her youngest child. She glanced at her husband as she scowled when she saw an unpleasant look on his face. She loved her family more than anything else. Because of Itachi's rank, he would always be on the job, barely home nowadays. So she loved the limited amount of time when her whole family would be there. However, the problem was her eldest son would take all the attention away from Sasuke. Fukaku would focus on training Itachi the whole day, and completely ignoring Sasuke. When Itachi was not there, he would think of new methods on how to train Itachi, once again ignoring Sasuke. The only time that Fukaku really paid attention to Sasuke was when Sasuke performed the fireball jutsu, and he gave him a small smirk at witnessing the technique. She only wished her husband would give the both of them similar attention. As she gave a soft, disappointed sigh. Are the both of you ready? Hinata and Sasuke got into place. Alright then, he raised his arm. Let's... But he was forced to stop, as several people entered the academy grounds. Mizuki quickly noticed a bandaged man in front of the group. Danzo-sama. What are you doing here? He said. Everyone turned their gaze towards the man. I thought it would be a great idea if I was to come and see the future potential that Konoha new generation has to offer. He then made his way to where the head of the Uchiha was sitting. As he sat down with the man. Please continue, he said. Yes sir, said Mizuki. Alright, begin! Naruto winced in pain. As he looked down, a sword was sticking out of his chest. As blood started to gather, no one saw as more root ninjas moved in. The child was basically surrounded as no one was paying attention that much, focusing on the fight slice. Several weapons were torn into the boy's flesh. Even one through his skull. His eyes rolled back in his head as he seemingly died. As Danzo gave a small grin when he saw that, the root ninja looked towards his master waiting for any other motives. Danzo gave a twitch of his finger for the man to move, as the root ninja disappeared with Naruto. In the ring, Hinata dodged a bunch of kicks and punches on the Uchiha. Her training with Naruto was paying off a lot. Instead of trying to perfect the same fighting style her family has been using for many years, she tried something else. She combined her family fighting style with the unpredictable brawl of Naruto Uzumaki, her love interest. The end result confused Sasuke as he did not know how to fight back against something like this. She twists and turns using Hyuga, Taijutsu, and then she came at him with brutal attacks. It has been going on for about 15 minutes and yet neither one of them were ready to give out yet. Thump, thump, thump. Both of them stopped midway. Thump, thump, thump. The sound got louder. Thump, thump, thump. Nothing is working. How the hell are we supposed to kill it? As there was voice from the outside, an inhuman roar could be heard. Run! The voice of a woman shouted. Evacuate the academy now! What is that thing? Help me! One of the tuning instructors rushed towards the entrance. What the hell is going on? His eyes went wide as the entire population outside was rushing towards the academy. An inhuman growl could be heard. Suddenly, the bloody corpse of one of Danzo's agents crashed right beside the man, its body torn up. My god. The Chunin said his entire body shaking in fear. The Chunin looked up as he heard a growl. Bam! Something slammed into him, his body sailed right through, breaking through the wall. A large inhuman beast rushed towards the shinobi family, its mouth wide open and its long inhuman tongue flicking about. The creature's large eyes focused on its next target, Ino Yamanaka. All of the experienced shinobis threw whatever weapons they had at the monster to stop it. Unfortunately, all of the weapons were simply pushed out of it. Ino screamed on the top of her lungs as the thing opened its mouth to swallow her. However, her hand was grabbed by her father as she was yanked out of the way. The mouth snapped shut. However, there was nothing there for it to bite down upon. It turned its gaze towards the family of blondes. It roared until something stabbed right in its back. It was a giant shuriken. Hey, freak, said Mizuki. In his left hand he twirled another giant shuriken. Damn, you're one ugly son of a bitch, aren't ya? With those teeth in your head and those tongue waving about. Oh, it's just one nasty, long tongue. What the hell are you? The thing roared once again. We are Venom! As the shuriken dropped out of his back. It appeared that 2 years being sealed inside a young child increases intelligence, even by just a bit. Amazing, Danzo thought, as he watches Venom charge right towards Mizuki. He threw his weapon, however Venom simply slapped it away as it slammed into the academy gate. Mizuki was grabbed viciously. However, before he could devour Mizuki, his hands were sliced off as Mizuki fell to the ground. Venom roared as purplish blood poured out of his wounds, where his hand used to be. Turning his head, he saw there was 36 Anvus and the Hokage himself. Venom! Stand down! Now, Hiruzen said. Several Anvus leaped forward as Venom moved. They tried to tackle him down, however, he still remained on his feet. The remaining Anvu stuck chain inside his body and wrapped it around him. The remaining ninjas leapt away as 20 chains wrapped around Venom tightly. The ends of the chains had been staked into the ground with black metal stakes. His arms were pulled towards his side as he fell over. He roared, growled, and bellowed as he tried to break free, however, he failed to do so. Struggle as much as you want. The chains and stakes are made of reinforced steel and virgin made in here. There's no way you can break those bonds. As Mizuki was trying to crawl away from the scene, Venom shot his tongue right towards Mizuki. It wrapped around Mizuki's right leg as Mizuki was yanked right towards the beast. Mizuki cried out as Venom sunk down on his leg. Damn it, the Anvu cursed as blood flew over him and several others. He flipped onto Venom's back and stabbed a kunai right into Venom's eye. Venom tossed his head back as he roared to the heavens. Mizuki was sent sailing into the sky, however he was caught. His whole right leg was gone as he screamed out. As the Anvu jumped away, pulling out his weapon. Take him now. Get Mizuki to the hospital, Hiruzen said. Simply amazing. As Venom was taken away, as Hiruzen disappeared as well, Danzo was just left there. Amazing, he thought to himself. Once Hiruzen reappeared, he was quickly alerted by a chonin. Sir, a message has come for you. Hiruzen took the sheet as he read it. As he swallowed thickly, written in big black letters was a few words, however, they scared him. We are coming. But guys, to be and subscribe right here for once next person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on that bell notification, stay posted, remember to share to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, if you're new, yes, I have 4 channels that I post on every single day for you guys to enjoy, so go ahead, check them out, and yeah, enjoy. So yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna be leaving you guys now. See you guys soon though, peace.